This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids. What up, everybody? This is your boy Black Magus, and as you can see, I have done a bracket on ESPN. I always do a bracket on ESPN. I only really like to do it for fun. Used to do it like for an office pool. I don't think I've ever won. I've come like that close to winning, but I didn't win an office pool. No, I've won some like weekly football pools before, but as far as the NCAA tournament is concerned, never was able to cash out on that. It's a shame because there was a year or two where I came out very, very close. Anyway, traditionally, I share my picks with you guys, so I'm going to keep that going. My thoughts leading into the tournament. Very interesting year. We have Kentucky undefeated, looking to become the first team since, I believe, Indiana back in the 70s to go undefeated for a season. We've had a couple of teams try to reach that goal, get kind of close. The closest, I think, in recent history as far as run is concerned, total run, was UNLV, but that shit was put to a stop by yours truly's team. But other than that, you had a couple, like you had, I believe, was St. Joe's undefeated until the last game of the regular season? I think it was the last game of the regular season. St. Joe's did it once. You had Wichita State, I believe, that did it. Who else comes to mind that made this undefeated run and got derailed during the tournament or around March Madness? It's been a few people. It's just a very hard thing to do, especially in the NCAA tournament, because you never know where the ball is going to bounce. It's like that one night that you decide to have that off night, you shit out of luck because there's no tomorrow now. Everybody is in it to advance, to get to the Final Four, to win the big thing. It's all out war right now. So everybody's going to try to bring their best game no matter what their talent is. Hell, the number 16 seed is going to try to come out at you and attack. They don't care that they are considered inferior talent-wise to you. I mean, we've seen quite a few scares in recent times with 16s and 1s, 2s, and 15s. My team, Duke, they have a habit of just totally selling out in any spot other than number 1 recently. So that'll be, luckily for us, we're a number 1 seed, so I think we're afforded some comfort, at least for the first round this year. No 1 seeds, Duke, Villanova, Kentucky, and Wisconsin. Villanova to me is kind of a surprise, and I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was saying that the only reason Villanova got that number 1 spot is because Virginia blew it against North Carolina. Had Virginia beat North Carolina and at least made it to the ACC tournament finals, that was their number 1 seed, I think. I honestly think that was Virginia's number 1 seed, and they just pretty much blew their opportunity to do so. But I'm not saying Villanova's not worthy or anything. I just thought that Virginia was going to lock it down, especially once Duke got bounced. But Virginia, they blew the opportunity. And that's how it goes. And this is why I say, right now, you're not safe. Kentucky, you're not safe, because at any time somebody could decide to throw in the best game of their lives and take you out. I mean, we've seen some very, very amazing performances. So don't just lock Kentucky in. Now, as far as my brackets are concerned, this was a very challenging year for me. I'm just not certain about my bracket. I'm not certain about a lot of my picks. I mean, I could run through really quick things that kind of, to me, I struggle with. Like, of course, the 8-9 game is always the worst game to pick because it's not really an upset. These teams are so close that 8 could be 9, 9 could be 8. It's just, there's no real degree of separation between them. So to pick between teams like Purdue, Cincinnati, NC State, LSU, let me scroll down here to the next bracket. Oregon, Oklahoma State, San Diego State, and St. John's is crazy. So yeah, it's a little wild with the 8-9s this year. I think I picked more 9s than 8. I picked 3 9s out of those matchups. Of course, always key matchups to look for. Pretty much anything between the 8-9 games and the 4-13 games, you have to be very, very careful when picking because those are the prime upset spots. We've had 2s go down more frequently in recent years, but for the most part, anything from the number 4 seed to the number 8 seed, they're in the biggest peril. It's just a traditional thing. They're always in big peril, especially the 8-9, the 8s against the 9s, the 6 against the 11s, and the 7s against the 10s. Those are even ramp that up twice as much when you consider the whole pool. So it's crazy. I mean, I think I picked Texas, so that shows you how I think. And it was a couple more, like I picked the winner between Boise State and Dayton over Providence, only because if Dayton wins, I think Dayton has a chance. With that being said, I don't know if Dayton's going to win, so it's crazy. The playing game thing, it kind of throws you off when making that pick, but I just decided to take a gut flyer on that, and I decided to take a gut flyer on the BYU Mississippi winners over Xavier. I didn't think Xavier had that great of a year, and that's the thing. There's a lot of teams that had good years, but maybe it was just me. But when I saw him, like when I saw the one time that I saw Xavier, I was just like, yeah, you guys got some issues, and a lot could be said about the higher seeds as well. I think for me, Kentucky and Wisconsin are the most solid number 1 seeds. Villanova, they always have a kind of a size issue, but they play great guard play, so they have an up. They have an advantage in the tournament because guard play plays a lot. But the Big East wasn't that solid. I don't think that there was that many solid representatives in the Big East, so they may be victims of we just didn't have the competition level that we normally had to push us. Then you have, of course, Duke, who I'm very, very mad at the tournament officials because Duke is set to be gone before the Sweet 16. The reason I say that is because look at my 8 and 9. I picked the 9th seed, which is St. John's. Now, why is that a big deal? Because Duke beat St. John's this year. That was was that the 1,000 win in Coach K's career? I think that game was. They won, but it was such a horrific game. We were that close to losing. St. John's pushed us to the edge. So, if St. John's wins like I picked them to do, I might as well just blow this part all the fuck up because St. John's can't take out Duke. Because Duke has a habit of losing games. One of the things that I've noticed is that when Okafor is allowed to be in his natural position, they're good. But when other teams play small and extend him beyond the paint, Duke has issues because he's not there to bail them out if someone gets by. You know what I mean? He's not in his position in a good position where he can get the rebound because he's a strong rebounder. He's a good defender. Extending the court by going small and having him have to come out and guard someone who could shoot, that just messes things all up. And yeah, we just can't handle that because it's not. It won't be pretty. It won't be pretty if we have to play St. John's for real. I'm not looking forward to that. But I did pick us to go all the way to the Final Four for some reason because I don't think our bracket is that strong. There's a lot of really good teams. I like Iowa State. I actually like Iowa. Gonzaga, I'm iffy on, but Gonzaga's always solid. Georgetown, I honestly am trying to figure out how they got a 4th seed. No offense, I'm from the area. Respect Georgetown, like them, but I'm not sure. That one I'm a little unsure about personally, but it is what it is. Yeah, I just don't think that if we could escape St. John's, I think matchups are going to fall more in our favor, if that makes sense. And that's the only reason I picked Duke to go to the Final Four, because I personally don't see us getting a championship. I would love it, but I don't see it. I have to be objective. Now, you can see my other picks, but I know the pick that stands out the most is that I picked Wisconsin to win it all. And reason being is I honestly think they're the most solid team. While Kentucky has had a tremendous run, they have, at times dominated their conference. SEC's not been that good of a conference this year. On top of, there hasn't been that many games where Kentucky had to compete against much better competition. And there have been games where they played spotty teams and have struggled at times to mentally stay in the game and then had to roar back at the second half and finish off team. I mean, talent-wise, they're great. Calipari always has the best talent. That's just the way it is. That guy is a recruiting fucking god. But with that being said, I'm still not sure at all if they're going to be able to complete this mental, because it's a mental drain knowing that you're undefeated. It's not just the drain of the height of competition in the tournament. The stakes of the tournament is now compounded by the fact that you are on a run for history as well, and everybody's looking to take you out, not just to get their opportunity at winning it all, but everybody wants to be the team that took out the team, So it's going to be iffy, and Calipari has said it during the whole season. He said, period, that he would have preferred if they lost early on in this run. He would prefer that they get it out of the way because he doesn't want the pressure and all of that to come back on them and haunt them during the most important time of the season, which is now, the NCAA tournament. But I think Wisconsin's solid. They're solid every year. Bo Ryan is always just on the cusp. He doesn't necessarily get the best athletic talent in the world, but he gets very, very solid fundamental players. He's a really good coach. They play strong defense, and that is why I picked them to beat Kentucky, because I think they're disciplined enough to not get rattled by what Kentucky brings to the table. And I think that's what it's going to take. It just takes that team that's going to stay locked in and focused and not wilt to the pressure of these number one picks that Kentucky always has. So what, these guys are all probably going to end up in the NBA at some point. So what, that they're all top 10, top 20, top whatever recruits in the nation. I think Bo Ryan has the coaching mentality to push his team past Kentucky, and that's why I picked them to knock out Kentucky. I picked Virginia because even though Duke's beaten them this year, again, the mental lapses on top of strategy of extending the floor and taking Okafor out of his natural defensive position can be killer to us. I think we have great guard play. I think this is the most balanced team that I've seen on Duke have. in years. But it just seems like teams are able to throw that balance off. Some teams are able to break that balance. If you have teams, especially with enough shooters, are able to break that balance. That's why Notre Dame has consistently been able to run us this year, I think. But that is my pick, Wisconsin. I know it's a wild pick. Most people probably won't be picking them, but we shall see. Anyway, you guys hit me up. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your picks are, and I will holler at you later. This your boy Black Megas, and I'm out. Deuces.